Hey everybody, it's Tim Danter. Hope you're having a great day. It's the Hair Curler Chronicles again, and we have a two-part series coming to you. Part one is in this video with our good friend Nate Polmateer. What a story, what a guy. Father of 10, he's a pastor, he lives out in the London Sarnia area. Man, what a story this guy has got, but smart as a whip. What we've done today in today's video is we've asked Nate for 5 of his tips on how he sets up a budget, keeps to a financial diet, and just keeps it all together with money and a large family and all that fun stuff. So they are lessons to be learned for us who don't have 10 kids, but smart 5 points on what we should do in order to create a financial diet for our future. Hope you enjoy. Please remember that we are not financial advisors nor investment counselors, so it's just a talk around the water cooler. And if you're getting value out of this video, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button and the notification bell so you don't miss part 2 of In Conversation with Nate from the Loft. Here we go. Enjoy.
Hello, and welcome to the Hair Curler Chronicles. You got Tim and Nancy Danter coming to you. I'm coming from the garden shed. Where are you, Tim?
I am up at the cottage waiting for a contractor.
Excellent. Getting ready to get the rental open and running and all that sort of stuff. And we've also got our wonderful friend Nate with us tonight. Nate, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I am coming to you from the loft.
See, we're all in very peculiar spots, so this is great tonight. And so Nate, I know you are an active member of our community, and I know that you have a YouTube channel. But what I was thinking was maybe you could take a few moments and just formally introduce yourself to the viewers.
All right, so my name is Nate Polmateer. I am super passionate about finances. I started out my channel just because I'm passionate about finances and I want to share with other people the knowledge that I've learned in my own experiences. And really, that's about it. I have 10 kids, a wife. We've been married for 16 years, and we have tons of experience in this space. As far as cryptocurrency is concerned, I've been in the space since about 2016 and really enjoyed it. Seen some crash and burn moments, but also seen some great moments. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm coming from.
That's amazing. Well, you fit completely perfectly with what we love to talk about too, and what we're passionate about. Both really working on our finances and trying to create wealth wherever we can go, as well as preserve wealth. And definitely, crypto is a passion of ours. So I was thinking that for tonight, perhaps what we could do is start talking about the B word, budget. And the guy with, I know nobody likes to talk about this. They don't like to talk about it at work either. I can't. Anyways, but the budget is the foundation. Would you not agree? Like without getting, it's like, as Tim used to say to me, if you don't have your foundation done correctly, then doesn't matter what beautiful thing you build around it, your foundation will just fall apart. So you've got some great insights and some great thoughts, because I've seen your content and I watch your videos and I like what you have to say. So I thought maybe, would that be okay if we talk about budgets tonight?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, okay, how does a guy raise 10 kids and not blow your brains out from the financial side of things? And let's just start there. Like, how did you and your wife decide what you were going to prioritize? Because I think it's about budgeting is about prioritizing.
Absolutely. And we made an early decision to have lots of kids while we were young. We got married when we were 20, but right off the bat, we knew that, you know what, kids aren't free. So you need to have something in place. And just like you talked about, a foundation, that's where you really need to start. Or else if you just go on all these rabbit trails and go on, I don't know, just different areas of finances, and you don't actually have a budget in place, you can destroy your wealth really quickly. And then your next thing you know, you're going to be high credit card debt, lots of loans, all those kinds of things, and you won't be able to support your family. So
here's the funny thing. We did a live stream about 3 weeks ago with Ryan, and and we got going down a rabbit hole, speaking of rabbit holes, about how often do you talk to your spouse about the budget? And he got very funny about it. Like he and I almost got into fisticuffs, because Tim and I have been married for 30 years. You've been married for 16 years. I feel like Tim and I talk about our budget a lot. What would you say is your, like, how do you handle that conversation? Are you talking about it a lot? Is it just once a year, once a quarter? Like, what does that look like for you?
No, so there's what I like to call touch points. So there's weekly touch points, and then there's monthly touch points. So the monthly touch point is just like, okay, what are we looking at for the next month? And we'll just kind of outline it. To be honest, I'm the geek of the family and I'm the saver, and my wife is more of the spender and kind of rolls her eyes when we get into budget. But at the end of the day, you just kind of need those guardrails in place, right? So as far as like the week goes, I touch on it each week just to make sure that we don't go too crazy. Like this week, we spent $425 in groceries, and our budget for the month is actually $1,400. So we're a little over budget already. So if you don't put the pause button on there, then, or even talk about it, then you can get out of control pretty quickly. So we do weekly touch points and monthly touch points.
Okay, so that's a good topic, groceries. So how do you plan for that?
For a large family, you have to plan a lot. One of the things you do is you don't buy any processed foods or anything like that. So you're buying all raw vegetables, meats and stuff like that. For us, for meat, we buy a full cow at a time.
Whoa.
So we'll buy a full cow. Now it's expensive, seemingly. So it's $2,400 to buy a full cow, but that full cow will last us 7 months. And in that we pay, it's like $2.99 a pound, and you're getting roasts for $2.99 a pound. You're getting prime rib for $2.99 a pound. Go to the grocery store, try to pick up some prime rib. It's going to be like $18 a pound, right? So that's one way. Another way is we hook up with a local farm. Near us, it's called Jansen's Farm, and we do what you call a CSA, and basically that's the farm shares their goods for the summer for a period of time. So our CSA lasts from the beginning of June till October. We pay $1,500 for that time period, and each we get roughly the equivalent of $200 in groceries. Only have to pay $80. So that's like, so meal planning is huge. And then my wife plans out. She's the cook of the family. Once in a while, I will cook. And funny enough, the kids enjoy my cooking because I'll usually make those crazy special dinners, like, you know, the surf and turf and those kinds of things. But yeah, we do need to meal plan. Like, okay, what's happening on Monday? What's happening on Tuesday? A lot of work goes into it, but at the end of the day, you need to do those kinds of things, right?
Yeah.
So if you were $400 for this, what'd you say, 400 and change?
425.
What took you up? What was it that went awry on this week? Or has it just happened that some weeks are like that, or are you fairly consistent every week?
No. So what happens usually is there's a spike in a couple items that we weren't expecting, because we don't like go through our entire pantry or go through all of our laundry and figure out, oh, how much laundry soap do we have left? So sometimes it's just like, okay, we needed an extra box of diapers this week. We needed an extra jug of soap. We needed an extra this or that, right? And all you do is you kind of plan accordingly. So if I spent $425 this week, we know that next week, which we would usually have about $300 for groceries, well, we're going to have to draw that back about $100. So we're going to have groceries next week will only be $200 spent on it.
Interesting. We're not that meticulous, but we also don't have a whole pile of kids like you. So that's okay. And then let's go down another rabbit hole here, because with ours, Tim is kind of controls the purse strings. I let him, like it's yeah, that's pretty much it. I let him. It doesn't tell me I can't buy things exactly ish, but I have to tell him when I'm buying things, and that was the deal, because he's checking to make sure we got enough for the mortgage payment and for all the things. How do you guys handle that? Does one really control the situation and the other one just has the courtesy to tell the first guy? Like, how does that work sort of in your world?
So me and my wife, we kind of operate as a team, very similar to you guys. And one of the things that we do is I have, we use 2 credit cards. So we use a CIBC Dividend Visa and a Capital One Costco MasterCard. And I get emails as soon as any transactions go through on that. So that's how I really keep up to date on that. And if something comes up and it's like a high purchase item or something like that, I'll just ask Stace, hey, Stace, what's going on with this? And she'll just say, oh, I had to buy an extra pack of diapers, or, oh, Olivia didn't have enough clothes this week, so I bought her some pants. Okay, cool. And then that's about it. It's not about like control and like, make sure that you don't spend my money. It's more like just guardrails, right? Just making sure that we're not going like way out of bounds. And sometimes, you know what, we do go over budget, and that's okay. You just adjust next month, and it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is.
Are you the type of guy that gets up every morning and checks the bank account?
I can be like that, Tim, and I have to guard myself that way, or else I can be obsessive. And because I am attention deficit, like high attention deficit, and I'm very like focused on things. So if I decide, you know what, I'm going to be focused on our finances right now, like I'm hyper focused. So I could do that, and it's not healthy for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally understand. Totally understand.
I think you check our bank account every day.
I do. I check our bank account, business and personal.
And the Visa.
And you know what? I don't know why I do it, because there's been times where I've caught things and it's like, wait a minute, and it hasn't been Nancy. So it's, you know.
Yeah, I had that 3 weeks ago. I purchased a new Apple. It was more than 3 weeks ago, actually. It was probably 2 months ago. Purchased a new Apple iMac. And then the next day, I got another $170 charge. And I was like, that's weird. But because I have those emails going to my email right away, I caught it right away, called Apple. They're like, I don't know what that's from. And then called the credit card company, canceled it. So someone had somehow compromised my card.
Yeah.
Wow.
I hear you.
That's good. Well, that's a good tip. So that's one of your budget friendly tips, is to have all your transactions off of your Visa come to your email. Would you say that's one of your tips?
Yep, absolutely. So it gives me a notification on my phone. And so one of the things that some people may not do is not look at their credit card statements or not look at their bank account because they're just afraid to. And budgeting really gives you that freedom to look at those things and actually take control and just have that power in your hands rather than someone else. And so.
Do you have two bank? So do you like, I'll have a bank account for mortgages and expenses and stuff, and then I have sort of the cash, the grocery account and stuff like that. So we've got 2 bank accounts. Do you operate that way? Do you believe that way? I mean,
okay, so we lead, we buy everything on our Visa, anything and everything, and then at the end of the month, I pay the Visa off right away. If you saw my last video, you saw how I actually sent $400 into my RRSP. Yeah. So my Visa didn't get paid off, which kind of sucks because I'm gonna have to pay some interest on that. But yeah, so that's how it works. We don't have like a separate account. No, we don't have a separate account. We just pay everything with our Visas.
Right. Yeah, I have a girlfriend. That's how they do it too. Every single thing goes on that Visa. They rack up the points, and then they just pay the Visa off at every single pay that just gets paid completely off.
Yeah, we use a CIBC Dividend Visa, and it gives you 4% on grocery and gas, which is our 2 biggest budget items next to our mortgage. And so what are we in March now? I have about $480 on that card. So like credit, it's a cash credit. So
that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's really amazing. And then, okay, so I know that you do a lot of investing. So how do you shave off money out of your budget? Like, what are some of the tips that you do for your home, your household, to kind of make sure that you always have money to be able to put in savings?
Did you have a question, Tim? You kind of.
I did. Yeah, I know. It's something that you said there is that with the dividend, you're making money. So that's really, that's really an unknown, isn't
Mhm.
it? So when that windfall comes in your budget, what do you do with it?
So right now, I just put it back towards the card, and then that frees up extra cash. But I have been thinking about that and thinking, you know what, maybe you can use that as an investment vehicle. Right now, we're paying down debt. So that's what it would do. It would pay more debt down because debt is like a guaranteed interest. And in the future, it will go into an investment, whether that's cryptocurrency, whether that's, but yeah, you're right. It's like this like magical money that's coming in. And for the dividend visa that we use, we also get another 7 cents off of our gas at Pioneer.
Oh,
So
wow.
you get, and we have two big vehicles. We have a big
You've
Ford,
got a big
truck.
Ford, yeah. One
And
of my faves,
so I think my last savings was like $18 off my gas bill, like my fuel bill. So
yeah. Sorry, it just twigged me there to say, wait a minute, that's something that you wouldn't use in a budget because it's a variable.
that's right. And normally, like now I would only suggest this if you are diligent and you are tracking what you're spending on your visa, because it could get out of hand really quick. And then it doesn't actually make any sense if you're just racking up debt, because that 4% is peanuts compared to the 29% interest you're going to pay, right? So you just have to be really diligent and make sure that you pay that visa off right away at the end of the month, and then you're golden.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. Okay, so can we go back to my question, which was what are some of the tips that you have learned over the years to shave some money off the budget to be able to invest? Like, do you invest first and then go with the rest? What's sort of your strategy there?
So one of the biggest things you need to do to start off in the beginning is make everything automatic. So your investment's automatic. So whether you're with Wealthsimple, or I use a little bit of Wealthsimple, but I also use TD Direct Investing, and you just pull $100 out of your account every month. You can start off. When I was 18, I started off with $25. So $25 was coming out of my account automatically, and after a few years, it builds up, right? So auto set everything. If you can auto set your bills, auto set, so as soon as it hits your bank account, it's firing. And one of the things you need to auto set it on is payday. Don't auto set it on an off day. Set it so that as soon as it goes in your bank account, that day it's coming out. I do the exact same thing with my mortgage. As soon as my pay goes in, my mortgage comes out. So as long as my pay is consistent, then
well, I couldn't agree with you more on that point, Nate, because the fact of the matter is that hits overnight when we're sleeping. So when you wake up, you know what you're left with.
That's right.
You don't have to worry about, oh God, I got to take X amount out of here. And, you know, and it does play a psyche on your brain as well. It's like, all that's gone. Here's what I'm left with after I've done my commitments.
Well, and at the end of the day, Tim, like, we're thinking about so many things in our lives. We don't need to think about every single thing. You need to automate some of these things so you don't have to think about it. And you know what? At the end of the year, you're like, wow, I can't believe I put $2,400 into my RRSP, or I can't believe I put $10,000, whatever that number is, and you'll forget it. Otherwise, you know what you're going to do? You're going to spend it on clothes. You're going to spend it on jewelry. You're going to spend it on a new phone. You're going to spend it on anything but your own retirement.
So I got a question for you then. Along those lines, are you a proponent of having extra income tax taken off at source on your paycheck as it's a windfall at the end, or do you just let it ride? Because there are people that do that, and I thought, well, you know what, this is I get your point of view because you dive deep on all kinds of different things to do with taxes and that. So tell me, what's your perspective on that?
So actually, I have filled out a government form, and it's reduction at source is the name of the form. It's a T2022, I think. I can't remember. Anyway, it's a reduction at source. So anyone can fill out this form, and I might do a video on this in the future. But essentially, if you're contributing to RRSPs consistently, and you know exactly how much you're going to put in, you can apply for this, send it into your local tax center, and they will make sure your employer doesn't take those extra taxes off. So it's even above and beyond the T1 that you fill out every year for Ontario and for the federal government. And also I'm a pastor, right? So we get certain like housing tax breaks. So I make sure to take that off first so that I'm not giving the government that extra money. Why give the government that extra money when you could be sticking that even at like the most risk averse person, you could be sticking it in an EQ savings account for 1.5% interest for 12 months rather than giving it to the government and then taking it back. But if you're not disciplined, I can see how that can go south really quick. And then either you don't pay your taxes or I don't know, you spend all that money and you don't actually put it into an investment. So I think it's a great idea if you can put it into the investment, but if you're not very good with your money, maybe don't do that.
No, that's amazing. Well, do you have any other little tips and tips and tricks and tidbits?
Well, I do have, so I had, I laid out like 5 things for you guys just on some disciplines that Tim had kind of asked me about. And I can walk through those really quickly for you guys.
I love it.
Okay, awesome. So number 1, you have to start. So you have to start a budget. You have to know where every dollar is going. There's nothing worse than looking at your bank account and being like, ooh, I didn't realize I spent all that money. So just start. You don't have to be perfect at it. You can start it on a line sheet of paper. You can start it in an Excel sheet. There are tons of apps out there that could help you with it, but you need to start because you need to know where every dollar is going. That would be my first tip. 2, build consistency. Even if you fail, which we all do, don't think anyone's perfect at this. You're going to see a whole bunch of YouTubers that are like, yeah, I do my budget and I'm so amazing at it. But you know what? It's not true. We fail all the time. I told you about the $6,400 I threw the wrong way. And sometimes you go over budget. What is a budget? Is it to lock you up and make sure you don't spend your money? No, it's actually to free you to spend money in places that you really want to, rather than money in places you don't want to. So building consistency and then just revisiting it and adjusting numbers. That's all it really is. The third thing, it's going to be hard before it gets easy. So tracking everything at the beginning is like super difficult. And you're like, oh, I'm going to have to go through every line in that. But after you have a budget set, those line items are in there already. And it's going to be easy after that. So starting is really difficult. And maybe that's why a lot of people don't budget, because they're just like, man, I don't want to start this. Like I have to track every single thing.
Same thing as a diet, really.
No, you're right. And exercise, investing, all these things, it's just, you need to get started. Even with YouTube, I watched this channel called Think Media, and they're like, just hit record. Just hit record, right? Yeah. Or else you're going to be trying to prepare, trying to get all the right equipment, trying to get everything set. Just hit record and do you.
Hey, listen, that's what Tim and I built this whole channel on.
Right? You guys are doing amazing. Like our first videos are supposed to be our worst videos. And as you go on, you guys are growing so much. And it's so encouraging to see like you guys diving into crypto and getting all these collaborations going. It is so encouraging to see for other YouTubers and small guys like us to see this growth, right? And then there's Rye, who's just blowing it out of the water, but still, it's still amazing to see. It's amazing to see that community of people that are like, I never invested in my life. I'm 50 years old and I just started because of your channel. And that's
I know. I love that part of it. You're right, Nate. You're right. I love this. So what's number 4?
Yeah, number 4 is look for tools that can help you. So there's apps such as YNAB. So YNAB is you need a budget. So look for apps like that. That one's a paid one. There's Mint. Mint is kind of like high level. And what I mean by high level is it's not super detailed. You can try to make it as detailed as possible. But with Mint, it's almost automatic. You can set your budget and then it tracks your bank, your investments, your savings account, your debts, your loans. It can track all those things. And then EVERYDOLLAR budget. So EVERYDOLLAR budget is probably geared more towards your American viewers. You can't actually even, I have it on my phone, but that's only because I downloaded it 2 years ago and you can't actually get it in Canada anymore. I don't know why, but you can't get the app in Canada on your phone. You can get it on the desktop. And this is the Dave Ramsey budget. You guys heard of Dave Ramsey, big guru? If you haven't, he does all kinds of videos and stuff like that, and all kinds of budgeting things. And then lastly, just a simple Excel sheet. Build it yourself. What is a budget? Tells you what income's coming in, what money's going out. Start one line on one side and one line on another side. What income's coming in and what expenses are going out.
The one important thing that I took for granted, I didn't do it, but I took for granted when I started talking to people about doing the financial diet and budgeting and stuff, is that some folks are actually taking their gross amount of their paycheck, and it gave them a total false number. Yeah. So yeah. So as obvious as it is to some of us, it's the fact that you have to take what is deposited to your bank account to input these credits or debits, whatever you want to call them, into your budget, because working on what the taxman hasn't taken yet is going to get you into a whole crap load of trouble.
No, you're bang on, Tim. And one other tip as well is to underestimate your income and overestimate your expenses. So whenever I do a budget, I always underestimate my income. So if I'm going to bring in, let's say $1,000 every 2 weeks, I'm actually going to underestimate that. Or like, $1,100. I'll estimate it at $1,000 just to give myself some room there. And then with expenses, if I have, insurance, that's $53, I'll bump that up to $60 instead.
Round it up. Yep. Is what you're doing. You're rounding it up. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's good. That's good.
Okay. So number 5.
All right. This is the hardest one of all. To keep a budget, you need to be disciplined. And one of the things I talk about is you need to put guardrails in place. So when I talk about guardrails, this is different from chains. This is different from a cage. When you're driving down the highway, you have guardrails on the side of the road so you don't fly off the road. So guardrails in budgeting are the same thing. So if you're really terrible at buying things on Amazon, what's a guardrail you can set up? Remove your credit card from Amazon so it becomes difficult to buy something from Amazon. Or have anytime you log into your Amazon account, it gives you that 2FA code. Set that 2FA code up with your spouse or a close friend. So anytime you go on Amazon, you have to actually ask your spouse, hey, can you send me that code? And they're like, maybe the first couple of times it's okay, but they might say, hey, you've been on Amazon like 3 or 4 times. And this might seem weird to people. It might really seem weird. Like, why do I need to do that? This is how you set up guardrails or even accountability. And then that will keep it could be a little extreme, but it will make sure that you're not flying off and spending all kinds of money.
It's a temporary measure that's not necessarily, in my industry, there's things that I do to help people rehabilitate to get back to driving. And it's something that I always explain to them. It's like, this is not going to be the way life is behind the steering wheel for you. This is just a Band-Aid to get you back to what becomes a subconscious action, if you understand what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you develop a habit.
Exactly. Because it can be addiction. It can be an addiction to constantly buy something on Amazon. Constantly you're sitting on lunch break and you're just like, oh yeah, you know what? I have those headphones, but maybe I need these ones. And you're buying things that you may not necessarily need. I know people that buy things on Amazon. I won't say any names, but I know people that buy things on Amazon. It comes in, doesn't fit them, and they don't even return it.
Oh,
because it's a hassle sometimes returning those things.
That's a really good point, Nate, because you know what? I'm not a big, I recently, when getting in and equipping us with YouTube stuff, I've done some stuff on Amazon. And I think something that people should know is that be careful about the return policies, because some is print this label out, take it to the post office, and I forget about it. And some they charge you.
Yeah. Absolutely. It depends
And
on.
it's not cheap. It can be $10 to return something, and it's like, that's more than what I paid for it. And
No.
and they got you because it's like, well, I'm just going to keep it, you know?
Yeah,
No.
you really have to look at the policies and see, is there like, usually you can return it if it's the wrong size or it's not what the description was. But if it's just like, oh, I didn't want it, we call that the lazy tax.
Yeah.
Not wanting to return something is a lazy tax, and you're burning money in your backyard in a barrel is what you're doing.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I was thinking about something that I'm going back to your dividend credit card. And Wealthsimple has something, I don't know if you're aware of this, that's called Roundup.
Mm-hmm.
So you connect your credit card, your debit card, whatever it is, and every time you use it, it rounds up and saves it in a Wealthsimple account.
Yeah, there's another app called Milo as well that does the same thing. Yeah, but yeah,
okay. I just came across and I thought,
that is it's a service you got to pay for. So Frugal Nate probably won't get that. But if you wanted to do something like that, you could easily do that even on your own and look at the end of the week, look at your statement. If you're a geek like me, be like, okay, round up. All right, I'm going to deposit whatever $50 into my. But yeah, that's really because millennials suck at saving. We really do, and so that's really to push that, right? To push that narrative. A lot of the users on Wealthsimple, I think it's like 70% or something like that, are in that millennial bracket. So yeah, that's a really good tool if you're really bad at saving.
This has been great, Nate. We really appreciate it because I know your content is so fantastic on all of these things. I've watched almost all of your videos, and so I just where can the viewers find you? I know Tim's going to be putting a link on here, but if you want to just talk about your channel just for a moment, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah, so you can just search my name, Nate Polmateer, NATEPOLMATEER, and you can just look. It's my name. So you can also find me on Instagram at Nate_Polmateer. I'm also on Twitter, Nate Polmateer, and I have a Facebook channel as well, Nate Polmateer. So
that's amazing.
I'm all over the place. So my Instagram is mostly crypto, and it's like I've had it since 2017, I think, and it's like 99% crypto. And I do kind of fun things. Right now, I'm doing a stock market tournament. So I've taken 250 stocks, ETFs, index funds, put them into a tournament and made, I think it's, oh my goodness, I don't even know how many groups. But at the end, once I get to the elite 8, the last 8, I'm going to be purchasing $1,000 in each of those stocks. So it's just something you can follow around along with and just see, oh, what are these stocks and that kind of thing. But yeah, Nate Polmateer, find me on YouTube, and always smash like.
Yeah, no kidding. We'll put the links in the description below so that everybody can go and find you. And this has been wonderful. Nate, will you come back and talk to us about crypto?
Absolutely. I have a whole page on crypto too.
I love it. So thank you so much once again for tuning in. And if you found this content to your liking, we would love it if you could hit like and smash the subscribe button. I've done it wrong. I'm terrible at promoting.
You butchered it, honey. You butchered it. Subscribe, hit the like button, and smash the notification bell.
Oh man.
Good
anyway,
Lord.
Thanks again.
Do something with that like button. Rub the like button. Do something to it.
Oh man.
Oh man.
You guys are awesome.